in the world, but very little knowledge goes around about marine engineering or the merchant navy as such as a profession. Those who are already in the profession and their children or maybe the colleagues' children, they do get to know a little bit about the profession because they see their uncles or their fathers working there. But the other children or the other students in the different schools and colleges around, they don't get much exposure to this profession. So we are here to bring this awareness to all the possible marine engineers who have signed up today. And we want to bring this knowledge and hope that we will get a wider audience, that they will share this knowledge with their friends and family and bring us more talent into our industry. So let's begin with our presentation for the afternoon today. I'll just jump into the presentation straight away. Right. Is the screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Now it is visible.
Okay, thanks, ma'am. While this is loading, let me just start with the presentation, a little bit about what is marine engineering. Marine engineering is like an offshoot from the mechanical engineering, and you can say a little bit of mix of mechanical with electrical, because there's a lot of elements of both that come in. But core knowledge that we start with as a marine engineer, it comes from the mechanical engineering field. And then we add on to this knowledge based upon our specific requirements for the industry and give them extra skills that they need to work on ships as marine engineers. So by now you must have figured out this whole thing is about the merchant navy, and one of the departments of the merchant navy, that is marine department, marine engineering department, that we'll be speaking about. Broadly speaking, there are two main departments in the merchant navy. One is, of course, the nautical side, which is BSc Nautical Science, and they have gone to become second mates, third mates, and then, of course, finally, the rank of captains. In between, of course, there's chief officers. So those four rank structures exist also in the marine engineering field, where we start off as a junior engineer and go on to become finally a chief engineer of a ship. So that transition or that process, of course, is over a period of at least about 8 to 10 years on an average for a new joiner to reach that level. But we'll take you through that process. We'll take you through all the information required. Right. So what is about marine engineering is, let's look at what is the role of a marine engineer and how we can help you to understand better. Marine engineering is not all about just books. Okay, it's not all about just calculations and sitting on a table and doing all this. It is applying what you learn in the books in a classroom, you take it to a workshop, and then go and actually use it on board a ship to apply your skills to do the now job that is necessary. Okay, and that is the main role of a marine engineer, is actually operation and maintenance of ships. So you need to be fully conversant with mechanical systems, with electrical systems, electronic systems, and of course, you need to have a safe and efficient functioning of all the onboard machinery to ensure that the ship works efficiently and safely. For that, you will need skills and knowledge that will take you through all the propulsion systems, that is your main engines, your propulsion motors, okay, then power generation units, your diesel generators, turbo generators, maybe even gas turbine generators, and lots of auxiliary machinery that I'm not going to detail of which, but you can imagine a ship is a very big piece of machinery, a lot of complicated systems there, and all are needed to make that ship function. The main, of course, function of a ship, of course, is carrying cargo from one place to another. So everything revolves around carrying that cargo safely from point A to point B, and we have to carry it in the most cost efficient and safe manner that we can. So all the systems that are fitted on ships are all finally helping us in doing this function of a ship, right? So there are different types of cargo ships we have in the fleets. Some of the names you might have heard, oil tankers, which are quite famous. And then there are container ships, there are bulk carriers, Okay. And then there are dry cargo ships. So basically, there's general cargo ships which carry palletized cargo. And then there are specialized vessels which carry cars or trucks, which are called ro-ro vessels. And then there are passenger ships, which are also now popularly called as cruise liners because they take for a vacation cruises. But there are, of course, offshoots from the original passenger liners that used to ferry people from point A to point B. But nowadays, because of the airline industry taking over, the passenger trade of shipping has gone down a lot. So it is more into the leisure side, that is going for a holiday on a ship. And then, of course, there is offshore vessels which supply and which service the oil industry in the sea. So there is a wide range of functions that the shipping industry carries out, and we are part of it all. Marine engineers are part of all of it, and we are a major contributor. I mean, me, not we as a, but as shipping as an industry, are a major backbone of the global trade, and we carry goods and raw material, and of course, people all over the world. So one of the key aspects of a marine engineer role is, of course, that he has to be a good problem solver. Because remember, a ship when it is at sea, anything that happens on a ship needs to be fixed by the people who are on board. So the marine engineers have to have a working knowledge of how the machinery works and also how to fix it if something goes wrong in the middle of the ocean. So they have to have innovative skills. So because not all solutions come in a textbook. So you might open a manual for a particular machinery and then you face a problem and you try and open and find a solution in that manual. It may not exist. So you need to have that skill to actually innovate and find the solution to get the ship going again. Yeah. So one of the, of course, other functions is having troubleshooting. Like I said, you need to be also fully conversant with the safety compliance requirements. So there's lots of rules and regulations which apply to the maritime field. So the marine engineers are actively involved with the application of these safety and compliance rules. And then, of course, you have to be also part of the management team. So as you rise in the ranks, you have a more of a management function that you'll be doing, managing people, managing materials, and of course, times, and so many more. And then, of course, inherent knowledge of the machineries that is there. So you have to be able to have a complete understanding of what is on board the ships, and every ship that you will meet in your careers, if you ever come here, will be different. So though they all are classified under the same umbrella of it's a tanker, but every ship when you go to, you'll find something or the other is different about that ship. So you cannot apply the same rules or same knowledge everywhere. You have to innovate, you have to keep learning. So the process of learning never ends for a marine engineer. The good news is that the marine field is always in demand. So there is a consistent demand for marine engineers, skilled labor worldwide, and that will keep on growing as the world trade grows. More and more ships coming out, more and more jobs are created, and it is quite stable even in the economic and like say the downturns like the Corona times when a lot of world shipping actually continued on, and I was fortunately part of that process because I was on board a ship when the Corona pandemic happened. And I remember we were carrying gas cargo from US to China all throughout the pandemic era. So the trade never stopped for us. We were actually doing full trade with across the globe. So ships never stopped. The global trade continued in spite of the Corona pandemic. And then, of course, the most key aspect about the marine field is the earning potential because you are earning in dollars. So whatever you paid is tax-free income in India, provided you, of course, fulfill the NRI criteria. That is, you spend more than 184 days in a financial year outside of India, and that earning that you have is completely tax-free from an Indian point of view. Plus, it takes you around the globe. So ships take you to places and such exotic places that you will get to see in your career that probably no land person will ever go to because there are so many places like I've been to, like Antarctica. I mean, the ship that took us to Antarctica, it was one of the best voyages of our life. And then the places exotic like Alaska or far off islands in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. All these are the wonderful sights that you will get to experience when you go into shipping. and of course, it's part of your experience that you will take home in your life. Then, of course, working with so many cultures and ethnicities, because shipping is an international operation, so you get to meet lots of types of people. Even though you may have same nationality of people working on board ship, but you still have to deal with so many other nationalities when you go and work on the shore, where that is when the ship goes alongside in the port for doing cargo operations, that you will come to meet them, or they come on for inspections or for assisting with repair or whatever inspections. So a lot of multi-ethnic, multicultural exposure you will get. And then the career progression of a typical marine engineer will start as a junior engineer. So when you graduate, so let's say in BTech marine engineering, or you do a program called as a graduate marine engineer, that is after mechanical engineering for another path, you will all end up in a position that is known as a junior engineer of a ship. And from there onwards, your journey starts. You have to undergo a system of exams, that is licenses that we have to pass, exams conducted by the Director General of Shipping, which take you through 3 levels. That is class 4, that is the entry level exam. And then you have a class 2 exam, a second engineer's exam, and the final exam, that is your chief engineers. Okay, so that will be your career path in the shipping world itself. And you have a rising rank structure again from junior engineer to fourth engineer, then to third engineer, then to second engineer, and finally a chief engineer of a vessel or a ship, where you will probably end up in maybe 8 to 10 years if you are consistent with your sailing and you continue, manage to pass your exams in good time. The world of shipping doesn't end on the ship. I mean, you have a lot of career options even if you choose to come ashore. So there is a lot of opportunity on shore side for ship trained personnel. You can come ashore to work in managerial positions in company offices, that is shipping related offices, or there is a lot of demand for marine engineers in the hotel industry. That's another role that you can get into. Then, of course, there is surveyors, inspectors, consultants, so many roles that you can get into. So there is actually no end to what you can do. And there are so many other skills that you can get on after you do your marine engineering career, your sailing career, and get into training like I am right now. I did a training course, and I'm a full-time educator in this maritime institute. Shipping industry is always changing, so there is a lot of dynamic change in our technology. Every time that we go out into sea, we have newer technologies that we come and meet. And of course, there's talk of autonomous ships, that the ships that are powered by AI and automation that will automatically sail. That is a reality that we are already looking at. So we already have smart engines, which are electronic engines that are helping engineers to predict and diagnose using AI tools. Then, of course, we have alternative fuels, green fuels, which are helping us to reduce the carbon footprint of shipping and bring down the emissions. So that's also one of the focuses in the shipping industry now. And that to make it shipping industry sustainable and efficient, there is hybrid propulsions, electric propulsion systems. Then, of course, we have emission reduction technologies like scrubbers, carbon capturing, and so many more. And shipping industry, of course, has not been far from the digital transformation. I myself have been part of that digital transformation in my own career, from a very basic manual ship to a fully automated cruise liner that was having so much amount of digital use for everything. Everything was controlled from a centrally located engine control room. We could practically run the whole ship from a click of a mouse. So we have reached that level and even beyond with so many modern ships. There's also simulation and AR, that is VR, in training for maintenance. So we are able to train engineers to undergo hands-on with the simulation technologies, where they can teach them the various functions that they will be seeing on a ship and help them to go through the process, make as many mistakes as you want. You can go through this so many times till you perfect your skills. So when you go on board, you're already all ready and ready to go. So you're not making mistakes there, because mistakes are costly. They can cost money, time, and of course, the most precious lives on board. The challenges for marine engineers in the coming future, of course, is there is a lot of rules and regulations that we have to comply with. There is cyber security issues. Then, of course, costs involved with integration of so many technologies and ever growing training demand from the industry. So we are always faced with newer and training. So as a marine engineer, though you have your license, let's say you have a chief engineer's license, every time when you come on vacation, you will be required to do some or the other upgradation training by the companies. They'll put you through various courses beyond what you have already learned, so that they keep upgrading your skills. So this is part of the industry, so that we are always evolving, we are always keeping abreast with the technology. So some of the key features, qualifications that we need from marine engineers is you need to be able to think analytically. So you have to have a good problem solving abilities. Learning one thing in a classroom or on being able to solve a question in a answer sheet is one thing, and then applying it on a ship where there's an actual problem is another thing. So you need to be able to link these two things together and make it happen there, because like I said, in the middle of the ocean, you are the problem solver, you are the person who's going to fix the problem if it happens. Then of course, because we are dealing with so many people inside the ship and outside, we need to have good communication skills. So you have to be able to work and of course function with multinational crews. So ethnic and various demands are so high that you have to have break these barriers which we have created, that I don't talk to so many such and such people, or I don't like so communities. No, that doesn't happen. We are international industry in shipping, and we have to work with everybody there. Then of course there is a teamwork, because only few people on boards, everybody needs to take load of others. Also, you need to know a little bit about the other person's jobs. In case he's in distress, he needs your help, you have to be able to go and help him. So you have to learn cross training also with each other. And then the main key qualifications to join in the marine industry, of course, is bachelor's degree in marine engineering, which is now available in many institutes around India and also in our engineering institute here. And added on top of that, you have to have qualifications that are required from the point of view of STCW, which is Standards of Training and Certification in Watchkeeping, which is set by the IMO, which is International Maritime Organization. So these are additional qualifications. You need to be doing some courses and trainings to comply with this. And of course, there is no replacement for the practical experience that you will have. So when you go on board, you will start off as a junior or a trainee engineer. You will do your hands-on training there. You will be having a record book to fill out and reports to fill out. But when you come back, all this will be put to good use when you apply for your exams. And then as you go through the examination process, the 3 levels I mentioned, class 4, class 2, and then chief engineers, all your knowledge and skills are tested by the surveyors or the examiners in the shipping industry, who will give you the appropriate certificate only when they are convinced you are having all the skills. So it's not easy. I cannot guarantee you that it's a cakewalk. No, it is not. You have to work really hard to pass those exams. But that's the beauty of it all, because at the end of it, it is your knowledge, it is yours to keep. And that certificate, when you get the proud moment when you are awarded that certificate of a chief engineer, is the best moment in your life. I'm sure some of you will be already wanting to go there and take this opportunity. So just bringing again, what we have on offer is a versatile career, which will take you through a very, very good, high-paying industry, starting from upwards of $500 as a trainee to anything between $10,000 to $15,000 a month for senior ranks. Of course, tax-free income, like I already mentioned, and then lots of opportunities on shore for you after you decide to come ashore, that is stop sailing. Then you have so many opportunities in ports, logistics, ship management, hotel industry, technical consultancy, shipbuilding, you name it. There's a lot of demand for marine engineers everywhere, right? And of course, there is always chance to do higher studies. You can go and do your MTech, MBAs, maritime law. So there is so much more. Naval architecture, which is also an option. And there is a lot of entrepreneurship opportunities available for marine engineers, where they can go into training institutes like our training institute. There are so many more that have been opened by marine engineers themselves, and they are doing consultancy, or they have their own startups in supplying into the shipping industry various forms of supplies, or whether in technical supplies or in services, just in offering inspections and so many more functions that the shipping industry requires. Everywhere there is a demand for marine engineers. So I cannot stress enough how lucrative this profession is, even when you are at sea and then after sea also, right? So thanks a lot for your time this afternoon. I hope we have been able to clear at least some of the doubts regarding marine engineering as a field, as a career, as a profession. And we invite you to come up with your questions, bring some questions to us so that we can solve your queries. And we'll be glad to have interactions with you in the future also, in case you have. So thanks a lot again. And over to you again, Pratibha ma'am.
Thank you so much, Barve sir. That was tremendous information, and that was really so much learning that we all have acquired. And others would surely agree with me on this. So there was so much to learn in such a little time. So thank you so much for this knowledge, sharing this knowledge with us all. And now, if the audience has questions, I would like them to type it in the chat box so that our experts will guide. Do we have questions for our? Yes, please drop your questions related to the webinar. And also, by the time everybody types their, yes, Priyansh Patel, if you have question, please type it in the chat box. If anyone has any question or they would like to ask something to our expert, please type it in the chat box. I will convey your doubts, queries to our experts. Meanwhile, can I request Sunil sir to give them information about our admission process by the time people type their questions, if they have?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
sure,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. I am